Hello and welcome to the High or Lows podcast, a 5th ed Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Laurie Crawford.
Hello, everyone.
And we've got ASHMEEDIA.
Welcome to your adventure time.
Next up is Daniel Fletcher.
Hello, hello.
Then we've got Mimbo Wang.
Hey everyone.
And last up tonight is Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
So previously on the High or Lows podcast, it began with the group licking their wounds after a fierce battle with a flock of sturges who had drained much of the group's blood. They did a stocktake of their remaining resources and decided to take a short breather right where they stood before risking moving forward. Chuck sent his invisible servants to clear the rubble blocking the northern staircase, but they were interrupted by Tweak sending Giznat to assist, so they retreated to remain secret. Tweak and Thistle grew curious about the light that could be seen from the east and decided to explore despite the rest of the group taking a rest. As they peered into the room, they discovered an old dwarven temple which was currently inhabited by a flaming skull and some skeletons, which blasted Thistle as they retreated but didn't advance towards the group. During the rest, Callum discussed some of his past life as Tweak and Baracus continued to ponder the structural integrity of this place. And he explained to the group Tweak explained to the group, that as long as the magic holds, this area should remain relatively stable, but if the magic were to ever fail, good luck. After the rest, they explored the remaining adjacent areas and found a relatively clean water source, which they marked on the map and left water skins to fill. Then they returned to Giznat and helped clear the staircase of rubble, and were able to clear enough for Tweak to squeeze through, but for the rest of the group, they would have to keep going. And but they realized they had to stop to avoid tiring too much. So since they were in need of a long rest, they returned to the water source area due to it being fairly well hidden and defensible, and they took the rest there after another long day of fighting for their survival. And this is where we'll begin, with the group now advanced to level 4, all thanks to their effort in this place. But first, Callum.
Yes?
Callum. So, during your rest, Callum, you dream that you're in the midst of a great battle. You've got your vision back, it's returned to you, and you're fighting in your line with your fellow soldiers against a horde of charging orcs. You remember your orders to hold the line, and as long as you guys can hold the line, you know that your victory will be assured. This isn't your first battle against orcs, and you know the drill at this point. Roll me a couple of attacks, see how you're doing.
Okay. Ooh, 16 plus.
Yeah, that'll hit, sure.
4 plus 5. No, plus 4.
Yeah, so you're making some attacks, you've got at least one kill, and the line is holding. And while your shield has stayed strong and you're getting its defensible, you remember these scuffles with orcs. They were fairly early in your military career, in the early days of the wars, you remember.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, there is a large flash of dark red light behind the orcs, and there is just a massive change to the air as the density swells, and there is a cacophony of shrieking fiends, and the smell becomes sulfurous. And this is the first time that you've seen this, but it still haunts you to this day. As this was the first day you remember the demons attacking, and the first time you ever remember the line not holding. But it wouldn't be the last. There's another flash of light, but you awake with a start. You're soaked in a cold sweat, when all of a sudden your mind pings to something, and you feel something and know deep in the fiber of your being, there is an opening to another plane not too far away. Feel it. It's about 1,000 feet down, maybe? Or like 300 feet down. Maybe 500 feet east and another 500 feet to the north. And you can tell that it is currently open.
Start mumbling under my breath. They're fucking here. Just kind of keep looking in that direction, not really doing much else.
You don't know what kind of portal it is. And this is to the audience. This is thanks to Callum getting his Horizon Stalker background or class specialization. And so it's not too far away, but it's It's far off away that's not going to pose a threat. Immediate threat, at least.
But a portal opening is not a good idea.
And this is the first time that you've been able to sense a portal opening, but you've seen many. But it doesn't interrupt your rest or anything. You just... the ping goes away, and you can't feel it constantly, but you know that it's there.
Maybe I'd try and get back to sleep, but I'd imagine I'd probably have a bit more of a restless sleep and probably sleep through the last 2 hours of a sleep.
Yeah. Did anyone else want to talk about anything cool they got on their level up?
I was tweaking my crossbow and put a little sight on it and adjusted a few things to make it a bit more powerful. And and my fingers kept wandering, and I'm getting very good at finding things in the dark that don't belong to me.
Nice. I've always had dark eyes, as some of those around me would know, but there's almost a flame, if you will, kind of emanating from my one good eye, ever so slightly.
About Thistle, Chuck?
Chuck has been praying to Protus and has become more wise. He has also become more he has got some magic that can distract people.
And Thistle has been developing and becoming more in tune with her healing magic.
Cool. So you're all level 4. So make sure you add your hit points. You've all had a long rest, so make sure you refill everything. And you're up in this sort of closed off area, and to the tunnel to the north is a staircase leading back to the foyer, to the east of which is their old church temple, and to the north of which was the staircase leading up.
I vote we fuck up a flaming skull.
That does sound like fun.
Didn't look like fun.
If we're going to, what do you know about them?
I know that they can fire fireballs at us. I know that you have to kill them more than once. I think you have to I don't know, throw salt on their bodies or something. Maybe take a big piss on them or something when they're down and
They're
out.
undead. They are a type of undead, yeah.
We'll work it out. Maybe the altar has something connecting to it. I just know that they will come back.
I mean, I think it'll be a tough fight, but if you all are up for it, I certainly come along.
You think it's worth it? That's the thing. I mean, what are we looking to find in there? Perhaps some wisdom?
Yeah, maybe we can find something that can help us when we in our travels.
I just like the idea of killing those things.
So how did it react to you? Did it see you straight away, or?
No, Thistle hit her head and gave our location away. So it fired at Thistle twice. And I think it caused a bit of damage. I think it was like a flame bolt or something.
Well, it's slowly healing up.
We could take it out. They didn't seem like a big threat, though. I'm curious, but them carrion crawlers, it might be worth going to that nest or just getting out of here. That's the options as I see it, anyway.
Would be a better use of resources.
Either that or pushing on.
I mean, it might not be a dead end. It could be a thoroughfare to something else.
But remember, we need to be traveling at the best north, and that may take us off east. We don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it leads to Homestead, but hell, you never know.
I think we're coming back this way no matter what at some point. If you want to get back to that forge, I'm happy to keep pushing on. I think that's probably the best option. But if you all want to do that, then I'm happy to assist.
You never know, we might find out something in Homestead about the truth of how these creatures keep coming back. Be better prepared for the fight.
Yeah, I guess we could. Let's get ourselves to Homestead. That is the goal. Establish a connection, a trading route.
Sure, Candle probably has some friends he wants to get back to.
I just think we need to be prepared for this carrion fighter. I would like to put some explosives together and blow that whole place to Kingdom Come.
I could probably help you with that. I mean, I've just been getting weird visions about explosives. So I might know something if I sit down with you.
It starts with visions.
So where should we go then? What do you reckon?
Northwards, I'd say. See if that tunnel does lead to that chasm.
Giznat, have you been working on that all night?
If you asked him to work, did you ask him to work on it all night?
Yeah, sure. Well, at least until it's done.
When you go out there, it's just keeps on. It's just clearing away rubble. It's mostly clear now. There's definitely a way to go through. It's just sort of making it even more spacious and shoring up the structural integrity of the tunnel. But it doesn't respond to you. Actually, no, it would. It would just sort of nod a little bit.
Come here, Giznat. Let me give you a pet. I give it a big smooch on the head.
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20 with +1, 21.
Full waste of a natural 20, but I asked you to roll it.
Oh.
So the Steel Defender is moving. Giznat the cockroach is sleeping, but the Steel Defender is still moving.
Oh, you must have put it on autopilot. Come here, you. And I'll put him in my pocket up here. Let him snore his little head off.
So the Steel Defender still moves, even though he's done that as well.
Yep.
I'll jump into my Steel Defender.
Yep, you can jump into the co-pilot seat up top.
Well, let's see where this leads.
Onward then. And I'll march forward.
I'll quickly overtake you and go in the lead.
I'll go join Callum.
Well, if Tweak's on his Steel Defender, you'd have to be sprinting, because Steel Defender is faster than you guys. And there's not a lot of space to sprint as you go up this staircase. The stairs go up about another 30 feet. Most of the wreckage was all below, though. And then as you get up to the top, there is a landing, and you feel the breeze it becomes stronger and stronger as you get up. And as you get to the top of the stairs, the breeze is very strong as you are at a small landing. It's probably 30 feet across, stone wall still intact for about 20 feet before it is sheer drop.
Guessing I was right.
That looks like a long way down.
Oh, found it then, did we?
I'd probably get out of the way a little bit to let people with better vision look.
I'll go take a look.
I will throw a stone over the edge. If there's one next to me.
Yeah, there's random stones around. There's a bunch of rubble down below if you want to go to the rubble anyway, so it's easy to find a stone somewhere. And you can throw it, and it just...
I'm counting as it's going down.
You don't hear anything.
1 explosion, 2 explosion, 3 explosion. Nothing?
You don't hear anything. You don't hear any sort of sound. It is still dark here. What sort of vision do you have, Thistle?
I just used my dark vision spell.
Is that
So
60 or
I get-
120?
60.
60. You cannot see the other side of this.
Interesting. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm going to move forward because I want to be able to see what's beyond.
I'm going to step up behind. I know better than to stop Thistle from what she's doing, calling out, but I will peer into the darkness ahead with my darkened flame eye.
Yeah, you peer ahead, and it appears to be about 80 feet to the other side.
It's a big drop.
At least where you are. You can sort of see off to the sides that there is more chasm. And you can see that there are ways to sort of climb off to the sides, and you could try to explore.
All right.
Does anyone else get the feeling when they're next to an edge, like how cool it would be just to jump straight over and find out when the bottom comes?
I don't know, Tweet. Why don't you try it out and then tell us?
That'll be the last thing I do.
And it might not be the last thing you do.
Oh, you can always join him.
I think technically by raw, there is a chance you would survive. Because the minimum damage from a fall is 20.
Tweak's doing like calculations in his head.
Makes 0 sense. But that's the rules.
Percentage chance of surviving such a fall.
The maximum is 240, I believe. To 20. 120.
If only you could crit fall.
So like a high-level barbarian or a fighter can just jump, and if they're at full health, they'll be okay. Or high-level, anyone usually.
Well, what's our plan? You can turn into like a monkey and swing us across?
You guys can... I'm trying to think back. Have I seen a monkey over my years?
Why would you go a monkey when you know you can go spider?
Yeah, but then I can't carry Tweak.
Wouldn't be able to carry him as a monkey either.
Do we have rope? No, silly question. I've been looking for rope this whole game.
We have found rope. We just don't want to give you the rope, so you cut up the rope.
How much rope do we have?
8 foot. 7 foot of that 50 we had. That's one ring.
I had a 50 feet of silk rope.
That's not really long enough, is it?
No.
I have a bucket, by the way, but it has a hole in it.
Oh, God. I'm not going to take it.
That's great, buddy.
Gizmat's been busy. So at this point, Candle will say, There are places to cross, but it's dangerous. I don't know which way it'd be. Probably to the east.
Are they lower down these places?
It's probably to the east, and it's guarded by harpy.
Would there be a way up there if we were climbing across?
There would, but if you play a harpy wrong, you're dead. If you get unlucky.
Well, lucky we're well rested. Check out this. I'll pull out my crossbow. This thing's gonna take out any harpy that comes towards us.
Oh, where you're pointing that thing. Have you used something like that?
Oh, I haven't used this yet. No.
I give you some lifts, and if we have some downtime in this place.
I think we'll be okay against harpies, surely. What is a harpy? They don't sound that strong.
They can charm you with their song, make you do stuff, make you walk right off the edge.
But then we block our ears. Except for Callum, that would be... Yeah, you're kind of fucked, Callum.
Yeah, not really. It's not just sound I use.
Well, I'm gonna block my ears. I guess we can stick something in our ears. Will that protect us?
I guess the next time that we have a rest, I could probably try and fasten something to keep our ears blocked.
But mightn't be all. I mean, these things no doubt have wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're up high and we don't. May not end well.
For now, might it be best if Thistle goes ahead, turns into a spider or something, and does a bit of scouting, see what there actually is?
How many banshees are there normally?
I ain't really know. I ain't staying to find out.
Harpies, I mean.
I figured. Yeah, I don't have anything to block my ears, but I'd have to come up with some kind of plan.
I'm sure we can find something to block your ears. Look, there's plenty of dirt on the floor. Just stuff some of that in there, you'll be fine.
I don't think that would work. I think I'd rather have something that came out easy. My ears are pretty sensitive. I got big ones.
Or maybe there's another passage to the west.
Are we really afraid of some harpies?
No, but then I've never seen any or met any. There would have to be a way to communicate with them. As long as we're nice to them.
That doesn't tend to work.
It could.
But it probably won't.
I say we just sneak up and shoot them in the back.
Tweak!
I reckon it'd be pretty hard to sneak on them. This is more like their territory than ours.
How do you normally get past the harpies?
We don't. That's why we don't go past the chasm.
Well, how do you get back to Homestead? You really aren't that useful when it comes to getting back to your home, are you?
Not this way. If we could find another way to go up or around. If we could get back up to the mushroom forest somehow, maybe?
The Mushroom Forest? That's ages away. And we were being chased by an undead goblin up there.
I mean, considering the size of it, it could very well still be above us. Well, close to. It was pretty massive.
And the chasm does cut through parts of the forest in places. It does run that deep, but you can always go around up there. But I can climb.
I'm probably not as adept as you are, but I can still do it fairly well.
Regardless, I am still going to take a look around, see if there are any other paths around, not just that one that might lead to harpies.
Yeah, give me a perception check. I'm trying to think if this should be any other kind of check, but I feel like it is.
Maybe survival if you're trying to kind of suss things out. But it's an 8 here regardless.
Yeah, you can see, like, it could be climbed off to the east or the west. The paths aren't great. You'd have to climb up, and then there's little ridge lines you could follow. Path to the east does look a little bit safer. You can see that 80 feet across, there is a landing similar to the one you're on.
Well, good news, bad news. Good news is there's a landing over there. But we got to get 80 foot at least before we even get to that safe spot.
How far do we have to jump?
By my judge, 80, 90.
As I guess you can't quite jump that tweak.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, Tweak. And a question for the DM. If I was to wild shape into a black bear, would I be able to carry Tweak?
Bear is medium, I believe.
How would that help in anything?
I don't know. Then helps Tweak.
Black bears do have a climb speed. They don't have spider climb, which is better. You could, but he'd still have to hold on if you're doing aggressive climbing.
Can I grab him and fly?
What's your strength?
very low, like 8, I think.
Yeah, it sort of depends how much Tweak weighs to a weird point and how much he's carrying. He's got the bag of holding. Tweak, you wouldn't weigh too much. You're a gnome, but you've got armor on. I think it'd probably be done. It would slow you down.
Okay.
I think it'll probably halve your speed. Like you're probably like really, pulling him.
But it slow me down if I was to wild shape into the bear.
Bears are pretty strong, so probably not. I doubt it. No, because they've got 15 strength.
I weigh 38 pounds, by the way.
I need to fatten you up a little bit once we get through this.
That's a bit chubby for a gnome. It's an average weight.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna wild shape into a bear now.
I mean, I understand why you're doing that, but I don't see what's the point.
To help Tweak, and they seem like fun.
Oh, fair enough. Do what you want, but I was just gonna say that Spider, you'll be able to actually scout shit, but that's fine.
Yeah, so spiders have a better climbing ability and
True.
and better stealth. Like the bear is not stealthy at all.
And yeah, I can understand why the party would prefer if I went spider.
But if you want to try to turn into a bear, that's fine.
You know what? I think for now I will do the spider thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I ask Chuck to put up his telepathic connection so he can relay everything to the party.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm now a spider.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to scout ahead.
So you have to scout to the side, or you could go up, or theoretically you could go down.
Well, I asked Chuck, which way do you guys want me to check first?
Does Chuck put that to the group?
Yeah, I assume that I relay everything she says.
What do you guys want? Where do you guys want to send her? She can hear you.
Go where you want.
All right, I'm going to go down.
Okay, you start going down. What would you find if you went down? Okay, you go down. Give me a perception check.
Hey.
I did not expect you to go down. It's not the direction I expected you to go.
Well, it is me. I did the unexpected. 20.
20. Okay. So as you're going down, you can't immediately see any access points. But as you're looking around and feeling around, how far down do you go?
Probably like halfway.
Halfway to what? You don't know how far. Yeah, you don't know where the bottom is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm trying to surmise like halfway between where I go down. Does that make sense?
No,
That makes sense to me.
You have to give me like sort of like a measurement, like 50 feet, 100 feet,
Let's go 60 feet.
60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. You go down 60 feet, and the worked stone starts to change to more just sheer rock. But as you continue going down, you're still able to climb it and sting on. You keep on going down, and you can see in front of you that it continues. The chasm just sort of continues. It opens up a little bit, but it still just keeps going down. It's now, this sheer rock, not worked stone. It sort of reminds you of when you were in the mines a little bit. And you can't actually see much else. But with a 60... you can see the world down below you. Like you can, if you look down, you can see light. It's just in the chasm itself, it's dark. You see birds. Give me a high or lows roll, actually.
Lows.
I got a 4. You see you see like a giant eagle flying below, and also a giant vulture. Why not?
Oh, right now I'm in my happy place. I can see wildlife. I can see sun. So I'm going to sit for a little and just enjoy it.
Okay, it is still quite precarious where you're sitting. Like you're basically just holding on with your spider stickiness onto this stone, but you are sticking on. And yeah, you get to see a couple of beasts you may not have seen before.
It's so cool. I'd love to stay here, but I know the party would want me to suss out everywhere else. So I'll go back up to like that central point where I was before I went down, and I'll go up.
You go up. Cool. As you climb up, the climb up would be quite hard for even a skilled climber because it's not even vertical. It's actually on a slight inverse. So like, yeah, so it's like it's one of those extreme climbs where you're sort of hanging the whole time. You can't lean on the wall, but it's fine for a spider. And as you go up, yeah, it doesn't take you too long before you're actually back in the mushroom forest.
Yeah, this place is boring.
It's probably about how many feet would it be? It's probably about 80 feet before you get back up to the mushroom forest.
Yeah, I think I'm over mushrooms. So we went down, we went up. Where was the other way?
You could go east or west.
Ooh, 2 more ways. All right. Let's go east.
East. Okay. You start moving eastward. How far do you go?
Let's go 70 feet.
You go 70 feet? Yep, you go 70 feet ahead, and you can, as you're going across, you can see that you can't see any more access points, but in the distance you can see something moving ahead. And give me a wisdom save.
Okay. Nat 20. Woo!
Nat 20. You just start to hear this beautiful song, but resist its call.
Would I know from the conversations we had before our wild trap that this would be those harpies?
It stands to reason.
Okay. Alright, so we know where the harpies are. We know what's south, we know what's north. Let's go to the other way.
Yeah, so now you go west. And as you go west, how far do you go?
80 feet.
Yeah, so it's still more worked stone that sort of crumbled away. You see some things that might have once been access points, but you can't. It's all fully caved in now.
Okay. So really west and south is where it gets interesting. The other 2 ways are just like dead ends.
By Thistle's definition, yes.
Okay. Well, I feel like that I've done what I've needed, so I'm going to scuttle back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll still stay in spider form until the party decides what they want to do.
So you relay all this to Chuck,
Yes, I do.
and Chuck relays it all to the group. I would sort of like a little bit of... So much can be lost on translation, so what do you say to Chuck?
I say it's really pretty if we go down south. We get to see like birds, wildlife, sun, fresh air, all that beautiful aspects of nature that I think some of us would really enjoy. But then if you go east and north, it's just dead end boring. There's nothing there. And then if you go west, I think that's where the harpies are. Okay. And they sound pretty, but luckily they didn't have an effect on me. But we really need to do something because about the hearing thing, like trying to block our hearing if possible. So I don't want some of the people. I don't want the party. Sorry, to be affected by them.
Okay, so just to keep with the lost in translation thing, what does Chuck relay to the group?
Don't go west.
West, but west wasn't where any of the potential enemies were. What is west?
And then Chuck shrugs.
Gives up. Just have to wait for her return then.
Yeah, okay, so I scuttle back. And then I do my spider legs and I tell her, like, where to?
Well, they didn't get very much information. Chuck did.
I turn to Chuck and go, "You can't get more than that? I'm sure she's speaking your ear off."
Most of it is useless.
I start thinking about
What-
how much Tweak and Chuck should be like best mates and hold hands and skip if we go down south to like the Earth that I remember.
So, what was up? I ask you, and then you can relay that through to Chuck.
Yeah, it was like dead end. It was just like rubble, rock, nothing, and it would be a really hard climb for you guys.
Insight.
With disadvantage because of the absurdity of the situation.
Actually, what I'm going to do is, I got primal awareness
Ah.
at 3rd level, so I am going to, as a free spell, cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I can also speak with small beasts.
She's not a small beast,
Well, she's a medium-sized beast.
Too
so
big for me.
what was up top?
This isn't Chuck.
Yes, I'm
Oh.
talking to you. Obviously, what was up top?
This is not telepathic either. He's like now talking to you in spider language.
Okay. All right. So up north is this rubble. It will be a really hard climb for you guys. Okay. If we go east, it's rubble again. Nothing interesting. And I went to a variation of 60 to 80 feet with all these
Insight check.
places. Let me finish.
Probably.
No,
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
right.
think she's trying to deceive you. I think she's just gotten mixed up on
That's
the
a nut.
directions. So Liz, east was the harpies, west was not harpies.
Oh, okay.
There should have been a roll for that. It's just some sort of confusion roll for at least the next 10 minutes.
She got this.
There's no direction of north or south.
Well, I imagine she's also just pointing rather than saying east or west every time. She's probably pointing down the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm pointing really fast with my spider legs.
Yeah, so I still do an insight.
Oh my god.
Tweak's just impressed about what a frustrated spider sounds like.
Yeah, because that's what Callum sounds like.
That's exactly what he sounds like.
What do you get on your insight check?
18.
So yeah, so Thistle definitely got distracted by seeing natural light for the first time in a while and seeing the planet and seeing the animals. There's definitely some stuff she's not telling you.
If we go up, does it lead to the mushroom forest like Candle here thought?
Yes, but I'm over mushrooms. Do we really have to go there?
You're a mushroom. Get over yourself.
Callum, please put me out of my misery. Give me something. What is happening? What is the direction here?
Sounds like if we go up, we can get to the mushroom forest.
If we go east, you got the harpies.
Yeah. So I mean, if you say that in Spider, I can just relay that
Yeah.
straight up. If we go east, there's the harpies.
If we go south, which I really encourage, we get to see the world again.
If we go south, we very likely fall off virtue.
How many harpies are there?
How many did you see?
You didn't see any. You heard one. We heard one song.
It's far enough away by the sounds that their song can affect you before you even see them.
Well, luckily, I was wise enough to resist it
What did she say?
She was lucky that she resisted it.
If she resisted it, then why didn't she get some numbers?
I mean, who says she'll resist it continuously?
Well, why don't people roll me knowledge checks on harpies, which would be, I say, in nature.
Ooh, actually rolled it at 20. So 20.
7, 8, sorry.
Hey, can I help you? So you do remember hearing a story about harpies that once someone resists it, they should have protection for some time.
Oh, that's what I was hoping to find out, exactly that, but I rolled a 14.
You also know within that 20 that the harpies that sing tend not to be like open combatants. They like their life, and they like not actually getting hurt. So they just try to lure things to their death. They don't actually like open combat.
So if we can resist it, we might get across.
But within that 20, you know that there are other kinds of harpies. You know that there are some that don't sing. They're much more vicious. They're not too hard to kill, but they travel in packs. And occasionally there are very large harpies that don't sing, but pack a bit more of a punch.
And all those harpy types kind of work together.
Sometimes not. Sometimes harpies are generally quite evil and chaotic creatures, so sometimes they have various disputes with one another.
Well, if we know some of them are the singy types, then that's less of the pull you off the edge of the cliff type.
Some of them, so they kind of travel in disparate groups, but kind of separate from each other, different types, things like this.
Is this maybe a good time to say I have Featherfall? Which is a spell that you can cast on somebody and it'll slow their descent.
I mean, it would be useful, but I don't know how useful in this context. I mean, you'd fall, but you'd just keep falling.
Well, maybe we could just get out of this place. I mean, we can go back to Earth. There's
Taraz.
Yes, we could just fall to Earth.
Taraz. I don't think you'd want to go there. I don't know
Why
how often you left the city,
You could just float straight down there.
and might likely float straight into an elemental or demonic or some sort of evil thing's camp.
Could be anything.
But yeah, the world outside of the reason the place was lifted off on the mountain was because the rest of the world was so dangerous. Taraz isn't the same place it used to be.
Hmm.
And what do we know about, or what do you know about the atmosphere between our descent into oblivion and Taraz? There might be. Could there be more than just elementals down there?
How do you know for sure? I mean, could it be just like a big conspiracy where they're just trying to trick you into staying up on their own little area?
I've seen what's down there.
Give me an Arcana check, Tweet.
20.
Featherfall lasts 1 minute and slows your descent to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. So you would have to do multiple castings to see yourself down in the ground, and you're not sure how many.
No, we'll hold hands and just cast it before we hit the ground. It'd be like parachuting.
There might be a check involved.
Nope, I can cast people within sight up to 5.
Yeah, there might be a check involved to keep holding everyone's hands as you're plummeting at at terminal velocity. I'm not saying it's impossible. And Candle wouldn't be able to come, but it might. Yeah. I think you'd be able to make it. The check would be involved would be if you're trying to wait for the last minute and only use one spell slot, then there would be a check involved that would be whether you get it off in time, or if you do it a little bit earlier to see how many spell slots you use. Because it is pretty far down. How far is 1,000 feet? Now I have to Google how far is the moon.
1,000 feet's not that far. I mean,
Way more than
10,000.
1,000 feet.
Yeah, well, planes tend to fly about 10 to 36,000 feet into the air, depending on.
How high are satellite? 2,000 kilometers, 162,000 feet kilometer. This is what we have to do in D&D, audience. I know this is a boring thing, but sometimes you just got to Google weird stuff to figure stuff. I probably should have figured this stuff out already, but the question has come up.
We're not in space, though. How high do you want it to be? Because if a plane flies at about 36,000 feet, a 747.
It's at least 500,000 feet.
And how are we breathing up here? That would be magic, too.
Magic. Oh, maybe it's at least.
We're all
200,000.
hypoxic. This is Twig doesn't normally talk like this. This is just hypoxic.
So like 50. So how high do planes fly? Did you say?
I think about 36,000 feet. 747s.
And if you're going up to satellites, they're 2,000 for low Earth orbit.
They're usually below 40,000 feet. You'd find a plane between 30 and 40,000.
I think you're about 300,000 feet up, which is about 100,
Wow.
a little bit under 100 kilometers.
Yeah, that's.
So you are a low orbiting satellite.
And if. Yeah, okay. And if it's by magic, we'd probably stop breathing as we went down anyway. If you fell out of the.
Oh shit! Good thinking. I hadn't thought of that, but it's true.
Yeah, as soon as we left that magic, that's it. We're just like, we'd probably pass out.
No, we'd all jump off and we'd all be like ready, like, yeah, let's do this. And we all die, and then Thistle's just falling by herself with dead bodies.
We'd probably float. We'd probably at this altitude, we'd be floating
You'd float for a little bit.
and freeze, and we'd freeze as well.
It also depends on the orbit speed. If we're orbiting fast enough, we might just burn up in the atmosphere.
We'd freeze to death before then.
So many.
I think it's a bad idea, so let's just not
You know
do
what I
it.
mean about
Sweet's just like
we don't know anything about the atmosphere down there. We are
True. Tweak would be the only person to possibly be aware of what atmospheric pressure would be like.
Let's just say this conversation happened in your head.
Yeah. Okay, and second thought, guys, I think it's a bad idea.
Like, Tweak's just having that beautiful mind moment of like just seeing the numbers on the chalkboard and just like the angles drawn out and like square
and
rooted
it's splat.
to the power of 362 and carry the 7. And
We'd probably die before we left the atmosphere of this satellite. Oh, well, rock.
So I guess that just leaves the harpies or the mushroom forest. It would be hard for all of us to climb up there. And we don't really have a way to get everyone up there without climbing.
Safely.
I mean, Chuck can fly. We could try to go all directly across, but fuck up, you die.
How much do we like each other?
Do you really want to know the answer to that? Let's just find out a way to we get out of this place.
Y'all remember seeing Chuck fly back in the river, right?
Yes?
So
That's
that's
true. When was that?
when we were running away from the oasis.
He's joking.
Ah, kid, you got me. Just because I'm old, don't test me too much.
That's all right, but it's temporary. Can't fly for long.
You'll be able to get across, though, right? If he says it's only 80 feet.
Yeah, I could get across 80 feet. I could probably. both actually.
And how many ropes do we have? So if you jump across and you take the end of the rope, you tie them together, we could probably rope across.
I mean, I've just got the one. I don't know if Baraka still has any.
7.
Oh, that's right. You just got the 7 feet we took back.
I'm sure you guys have got a few ropes, but you did use some rope in the octopus raft. I'm sure Tweak has some rope, and I'm sure Thistle has some rope, though. Surely.
No, Tweak's been harping on about it.
We've been keeping the rope away from Tweak.
And Chuck's been secretly keeping like a Bible stash on his person of stuff.
Chuck might.
Chuck, do you have any rope? Chuck!
I don't have any rope.
Inside check.
That's all you really care about, the rope.
Natural 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any rope.
Well, we might need to find some more rope. Or something rope-like.
Let's go find out if the harpies have any.
There weren't any vines growing up in the forest, were there? Strong enough to hold someone?
I don't think this actually went all the way into the forest. She sort of just noticed that she could see it up ahead and went back. But you didn't see any vine. No. Mushrooms don't really grow vines. In vines.
Or even thick enough spiderweb could act as a rope.
I don't know how good my web is. I don't know how secure my web is. Do you really want to trust it?
I was thinking your web. I was thinking her web. That just came into my mind just then. Could we get across a web? I mean, she has got a big abdomen.
Giant warp spiders don't actually have a web attack at all. They have web sense and web walker.
No, but surely they can string a web. They're a spider.
Nah, they're more like a huntsman.
Spiders don't.
What the fuck did you choose that spider for?
She doesn't have giant spider. That's a CL1.
Yeah, you have to be level 8 for that. And you have also seen giant flying spiders, if you remember correctly.
I do.
You're also CL1s, and you'd need to be a level 8 druid for that. So you have a few options. Level up 4 more levels until you can have some flying abilities. Actually, probably 1 more level and someone will be able to fly as a level 3 spell. Chuck, probably. You could try to go make the climb up. Try to go east towards the harpies. Or you could go back and go for one of the fights you've left behind and hope to find something that will help make it easier.
Let's just take on these harpies. I reckon if we're smart, they won't be able to get us. We block our ears, we sneak up with them and wipe them out. Perhaps we could tie a rope to ourselves so if one of us do go over.
Just in case.
Yeah. I think with the 50 foot of rope, we'd have enough rope to kind of make a rope chain, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
6 people? Yeah. You wouldn't have too much. You'd probably only have 5 feet between people, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people don't need it as much. Like, it sounds like Thistle's fine.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's only U5. Oh, sorry, U4.
But Thistle should be probably in this fight.
Oh, she will be, but she's immune to the song.
I suppose it's good to have one less person. Okay, well, that sounds like a plan.
You're gonna need to find some. I can't fight while I'm climbing. I can't fight at all. So I'm gonna need to find something stable to hold on to. Walk on.
Do we need to climb for the east track? So much.
Candle could just stay behind us. You stay here, we clear the path, and then we'll tell you when to come.
It's a plan, I suppose. I feel like I could use a little bit more work, but it's...
You don't want to just take this sling for now? You might be able to use it one-handed at least.
I'll get off one shot, but I won't be able to load it. But I'll take it.
I think he's a liability more than anything in his current state. I'm just telling you facts. You know, if he wanders off, we have to rescue him.
The only times I've wandered off is when I'm helping out one of you who has wandered off.
No, but I mean, if the harpies get you,
That's true. I don't want the harpies to get me. I'd rather them not notice me.
exactly. So maybe we just go in there, clear them out, and then we call you forward.
Alright. I mean, I can just climb the other way while you're doing that. I'll probably be able to figure out a way across.
You could do that too.
Might be able to climb up and then kick out up there as well.
Might be able to get a rope, but we don't have a rope long enough from the sounds of things. Looks like I lost mine as I was coming to get y'all, so I don't have it. That was Phil deciding, I'm not just gonna say, I'm not gonna have Candle just be like, here's a rope. So he lost his rope.
All right, well, we have a great plan. Let's put the rope between us and move down.
Okay. You have a plan. You have a cunning plan. And I suppose we'll have to see how it goes next week on the Higher Lows podcast. That's it for this episode of the Higher Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at Higher Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.